Today we'll cover trade deficit. So let's start it. You can see in your screen that inflow minus outflow. If the result is positive, that's trade surplus. If the result comes negative, that's trade deficit. So let's know first what is inflow and what is outflow. For example, you're receiving money, so the money is in your hand, coming in your hand. When the money is coming in your hand, that's called inflow. And when you are spending money, so the money is going out of your hand. So when the money is going out of your hand, that's called outflow. So in international trade, inflow and outflow occurs when there is import and export, and trade deficit happens when import is greater than export. So the question is that is it good or bad when import is greater than export? So here you see the question, like, does trade deficit matter? The answer is yes, no, depends. So we can say that both. Then the question is how? Then let's see that how it happens. Mostly when export is greater than import, we say that the economic condition of that country is really growing, or we can say that the country's economy is doing really good. Otherwise, we can say that the country's economy is doing really poor. But this doesn't necessarily mean that every time it happens, like USA, the USA economy is always under trade deficit. So we cannot say that USA is doing really poor. It's because import is cheaper for USA. So importing is a good deal for USA, while exporting is a good deal for Bangladesh. One of the main reasons this is happening with USA is that the labor cost is really high for USA. We can say that higher than any other country's labor cost. So labor cost is really high, and for this reason, for USA, import is greater than export. That means that USA is doing good. But it doesn't. The situation of Bangladesh is totally different, and the situation of Bangladesh mostly refers to the situation of other countries. So I think you got it. So countries like Bangladesh who are going to trade deficit, that needs to be reduced. And who's gonna do that? Obviously, the government of that country. So government should bring some restriction on reducing the trade deficit. How you can do that? By increasing the tax rate on import. So this will ultimately decrease the import rate of that country if government raise the tax rate on importing. The other thing that government can do is the restricting the quantity of import. For example, if government gives a restriction that not more than 100 tons of sugar can be imported per month, that means there is a restrictions in the quantity of importing sugar. So this ultimately brings some kind of negativity for the country. This ultimately creates this kinds of like negative vibe for the countries. So there are some negative sides. So as I'm saying, so let's see how it happens. When a Bangladesh government brings restrictions in Bangladesh's import, so Bangladesh is going to import less. So this is going to ultimately hamper the economic condition of USA. So that means that Bangladesh is going to import less from USA. So then what USA is going to do? USA is going to take revenge. And USA, in revenge, going to import less from Bangladesh. So Bangladesh government is again in trouble. So their export is going down. So what Bangladesh government is going to do? Bangladesh government is going to devalue their currency. When Bangladesh government will devalue their currency, the export will increase again. Seeing this situation, USA is not going to see it quite. US local companies are also going to even cheaper their product price. whole process is really lengthy. Pre-adjusted transaction will be affected, just not the current ones. So this might not solve trade deficit in the short run, but this can be impactful in the long run. This whole scenario is known by name, and that's called J-curve effect. So we're going to talk about J-curve effect in a next video in detail. So until that, this is all about trade deficit. Thank you.